Hey, I just clicked go live because it was like, you gotta turn it on. Hey, everybody. It is Emily with Wellness for Generations. We're running a little late, and I had to just go ahead and click the button. Otherwise, it was going to make me reset everything. So anyway, Karla just jumped on. So we are really excited. So as you all know, I have a wellness directory, and I love to promote other wellness professionals and what they are doing. So we have these little interviews. They typically last around 20 minutes, just to get to know the professionals that are on the directory. And we get to just kind of chat with them and get to know a little bit about themselves and their business, and what their mission is and all of that. So today we are chatting with Karla. Let me pull my thing up here. She is from Houston, Texas, and she creates wellness workshops for women locally and virtually. I love her holistic approach to help support women that actually are really hard workers, and they need to take care of themselves. So she kind of creates and facilitates that space for them by also doing something similar to me, which is bringing other wellness professionals together, and letting them support women. So welcome, Karla, and I'm excited to chat with you today.
Thank you so much, Emily. And I have to be the one who apologizes for the timing. I was doing the whole mommy thing this morning. And you would think that since I've been a mom twice before, that this third little one makes me a master. People always say that, oh, you're a veteran, you got this. And I'm like, no, it's a new baby, it's a new schedule, and managing it with the other two plus hubs is a new challenge. Right? So I apologize for getting us started late, but I'm super excited to be on talking with you now.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. You're never really an expert, I don't think, when it comes to parenting. Change. Every single child is different.
Exactly.
And a whole new caveat to your life. So no, it's fine. I'm excited though. I'm so super excited to have you. So if you want to go ahead, you can start by kind of introducing yourself, sharing a little bit about who you are and kind of what brought you to where you're at now.
Thank you so much. So again, I'm Karla Aghedo. I'm the founder and CEO of Houston Wellness Workshops for Women, where we curate wellness experiences, resources, and information for professional women who want to reclaim their power through wellness. And for me, I bring a decade of experience as a corporate attorney doing white collar criminal defense, representing Fortune 500 companies and high net worth individuals who are under investigation by the federal or state government. And that was 80, 90-hour work weeks on a regular basis, 100 hours easily, went to trial and worked 21 hours a day, not kidding, while pumping and shipping milk across the country. So I have a couple resources for that if you want. Milkstork.com is awesome. But that was what prompted me to start Houston Wellness Workshops for Women. I finally started seeing that therapist that should have been on my team from the beginning of my career. And she said, with the amount of stress that you juggle in your career and at home, you really need to be taking a retreat at least every 2 months, no more than every 3. And so I said, wow, I've now got a prescription for quarterly retreats, right? And instead of going and sitting down somewhere and just being quiet, being still, I decided this is a great business model. I've got to share this with other women. There are other women like me who have done this for a long time. At that point, it had been 8.5 years for me. Right. And who could have used this prescription? They could have used this resource. They could have used this knowledge that when we take a step back, we're actually able to take a step up, be more productive, be more creative, and do it all with less resentment. So that's why I started H3W, or Houston Wellness Workshops for Women.
I love that. And I think the whole idea of having a prescription is so important. Do you have headphones by chance? If not, it's okay. But there is a slight echo there.
There is an echo. Okay.
Just a slight one. Okay, that's fine. It's not as bad as some of the other ones have been, so it's no big deal. But I think having that prescription, and it sucks that you have to feel like you need a prescription to take care of yourself. But that's kind of where we're at in the world. You need that. So I love that you kind of got that permission and were able to kind of make that something, because we don't take care of ourselves in the way that we need to be. So I think it's super important.
Absolutely. And for me, maybe it was less permission and more insight,
Mm,
more just knowing. I mean, right? That's like, for some people, maybe they've already come to the idea that I need to step back, right? But I don't feel like I have permission to do it, or I don't have the support to do it. Other people like me, maybe a little like not as far along on the trajectory, didn't even realize I needed to take the step back. Didn't
right.
realize it, right? And we get into this rat race where we believe that working harder and working longer and more hours, we will produce more. When in
Mhm.
reality, once we take that step back, we're actually able to come back refreshed, renewed, and re-energized. It's
Oh yeah.
amazing, the resources that are now out there, that are saying your brain has got to have time to rest, not just sleeping, but actually turning the brain off during waking hours so that you get the ideas that you need to be better at what you do. You get the energy that you need, to continue going. And a quick anecdote for me, in at the end of 2018, I decided to do 2019 with me as the priority.
Mm,
I
mhm.
said, I'm going to do this as number one. And that was as number one as opposed to my job. So that included prioritizing me, my husband, and my two children at the time, as opposed to the job. And if they still like me, great, that's good data, right?
Yeah.
If they don't, great, that's also really good data.
Yeah.
And in that year, from um, January until June, I took twice as much vacation as I had the entire year before. And by that point, I had billed twice as many hours as I had by that time the year before. So just follow that, right? More time away from the office, more time away from work, and
Mm,
higher productivity, more time working. I mean, it's just
yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
So anyway,
No, I mean, and that makes sense. I mean, even in my own business, like when I'm able to take those days or afternoons away from the computer and just be outside with my kids, I do so much more. And I don't know if it's part of a, okay, this is work time, so you get what you need to done so that you can play, or like what, but it's definitely it's helpful to just kind of have that separate time so that you aren't just stressed and always feeling like you're like falling behind.
absolutely.
And taking that time. I love that. I love that you shared that. That's really, really awesome. Cool. So my next question is, what were you taught a healthy relationship growing up, or healthy? Oh my goodness, my brain. Healthy living and like wellness techniques, whether that be eating, movement, any of that kind of stuff. Was that any type of norm growing up, or what was that kind of like for you?
Yeah, and I actually think healthy relationship is the perfect way to
Oh,
say it,
perfect.
because it's the relationship with yourself, right?
Mhm.
Some of us grow up believing that we're not that important, and so we don't have a great relationship with ourselves. I will say that my parents modeled healthy eating. They really did, and they modeled healthy movement.
Mm.
I remember, our weekends being spent riding bikes, not just in the park, but across the city.
That's
So,
awesome.
yeah. I remember my dad trying to teach us to play tennis, before Serena and Venus were a thing, right?
Yeah.
I remember them taking us and just racing in the park or racing down the street, in a quiet,
Yeah.
safe neighborhood. This was a thing. And then, of course, encouraging us to be in organized sports from early on. So I started running track in fifth grade when that was really the only option for organized sports at the school. But I guess it was third and fourth grade that my dad started a softball team for our little elementary school. So there was always this element of health and wellness that my parents were doing without announcing it.
Hmm.
And mom always had plenty of vegetables on the table. Again, kind of not announcing it. The one thing she did always tell me is, don't eat all those sauces, Karla. You're adding those extra calories. Don't add those extra calories. And I was like, I am the queen of the sauce, honey. I love sauce, and I
Me
have the extra calories to show for it.
Yes, I love
So,
sauces.
right? So, the one thing that I would say maybe could be different, and I'm not saying I've mastered it, but is me being a little more clear, right?
Mm,
As parents. So my parents were modeling and they were doing these healthy things, but they weren't necessarily saying, we have got to be healthy. And
mhm,
these are the things that I'm doing in my personal life to maintain that health and wellness. And these are the things I want to teach you. What are you doing, Karla, in your relationship with yourself to stay healthy? So once I left high school, and the organized sports and the schedule associated with that, right? I didn't maintain my own regimen because I
mhm,
hadn't owned it as a relationship with myself that was critical to my ongoing wellness and well-being. I didn't see them. My parents work hard. They work very hard. And that wasn't just in their 9 to 5s, but it was the 5 to 9,
mhm.
5 to 3 in the morning, really, with us.
Yeah.
So I think I took on more of the working hard than the staying healthy
Mm,
as the priority for what I did as an adult activity. And now here I am, right? 18 years into, am I eight? Yeah, I'm 18 years, and I'm 20 years into adulthood,
okay.
20 years into adulthood, trying to reclaim
Mm, mhm.
that power through wellness
Yeah.
and hopefully sharing that with other women.
Yeah, and I love what you said about how like you definitely were it was modeled, but not necessarily taught for
Mm-hmm.
you to take ownership because I think that's definitely something. There's a couple areas in my life that I know my parents did really great and they still do great, but they never taught me how to do it. So I haven't
Mm-hmm.
I didn't take ownership of it. So I think that's really important as parents that we do that for our kids. We help them
Mm-hmm.
to take that ownership. I love that. I love that that came up. So what is your business? Share a little bit about what you do, how you do it, and what your like mission and purpose is with it.
Yeah, so Houston Wellness Workshops for Women is all about addressing the whole woman, mind, body, and spirit. And we do that through empowering you with resources and information to step up in your wellness, as well as curating experiences that allow you to take that step away. I really think that's my new thing to just talk about is the step away, because that's what I do. I am the person who curates the experience of having a retreat. That's the signature of what we do. And it's quarterly retreats where we've done one in person in March of 2020, March the 13th through the 15th of 2020, right?
Got
Everybody knows,
right on that cusp.
right? Everyone knows where they were and what they were doing that weekend
Yep.
because everything got shut down the following Monday, March the 16th. Like,
Yep.
no joke. Lots of people talk about the pandemic that started in February. I guess we were not clued in, right?
We
But it
nothing
officially,
yeah, March was yeah.
yeah, exactly. For those who weren't paying attention, March 16th,
That's right.
the pandemic started. So I did my very first in-person retreat that weekend. It was incredible, wonderful. And then, of course, as a business owner, I went into my little bit of depression, right? Because my whole model is done. We can't get together. We can't do retreats. It's over, right? And then I said to myself, if there was ever a time that women need this, it's now. So I've got to figure out how to deliver this service now. So one of our signature products is the virtual women's wellness retreat. And we are happy to modify it to include men if that's what your organization would like, because we do partner with organizations to host these retreats. You bring the people and I bring the fun, right?
Mhm.
But other times I'm hosting it as Houston Wellness Workshops for Women, and anyone from anywhere can register to attend as long as they're a woman. Um, and in the virtual environment where we all thought, oh gosh, how are we going to achieve wellness? How are we going to achieve the step away, the relaxation through a computer? We figured it out and it works. And
Yeah.
I actually feel the benefit, and I get this amazing feedback from other women who also feel that benefit, even in the virtual environment. So that's what we do. I also do one on one wellness coaching, and I would love to be that person who's in the trenches with you, trying to achieve your specific wellness goals, because we can do it when we do it together.
Yes. That is awesome. I when I talked to you the first time and like learned about what you were doing, I was just amazed. And I thought that it was I don't know. I love wellness retreats. I love events. I'm planning another one in June, and I love getting people together for like the whole purpose of wellness and connection and all of that. So I loved what you were doing when I found out about it, because it was perfect.
Thank you,
Um,
Emily.
you're welcome. Is there anything that you are currently working on or anything new coming up that you're excited about right now?
Yeah, so first I've got a virtual women's wellness retreat on June 11th through the 12th. So mark your calendars for that. Very excited to open registration for that, probably in early May. So yes, I'll share more details about that, June the 11th through the 12th. I'm also working on a project with the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, the Eshelman School of Pharmacy, where we have a 2-year grant to provide quarterly wellness conferences, we're calling them, for women at the associate and assistant professor level in schools of pharmacy and schools of pharmacology across the nation. So they're attending these virtual wellness conferences. They're also doing one-on-one coaching, and we're developing an online community for them to support one another. And it really is, and it's for women of color in these positions, because it really is an opportunity for them to get together with women like them, where day to day they're not necessarily in those environments. In fact, they're definitely not in those environments. And so I'm super excited about that partnership. That's something new. And I'm looking for more partnerships and opportunities to work with organizations to deliver wellness, particularly for busy women trying to climb the ladder. Those women are trying to climb an academic ladder. I've been involved in a corporate ladder, and believe it or not, there's a nonprofit ladder as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. I love that. That's a really cool opportunity. That's fantastic. I'm really glad to hear about that.
Thank
Um,
you.
there's a few people that I'll have to make sure to pass that on to, and if you want to write something up, I can definitely make a post about it, or you feel free to post as well.
Thank
Um,
you.
that's awesome. Is there anything else? I kind of typically close with 2 final questions, but is there anything else that you want to share or anything new going on that you'd like to talk about briefly?
Well, is one of your questions a wellness tip?
Yes.
Okay, good. Then I'll.
Okay. What is one, so that's I'll ask that question. What is one key element for someone to start moving the needle in their health that they could start today? That
Ooh,
could be your
moving
wellness
the needle in their health.
tip. Hmm.
Okay, I thought you said house, because
Oh,
that looks to go together. And again, right, I've got a 5-year-old, 7-year-old, and a 17-week-old. And so that is one of the things that it's not just me, but it's modeling wellness for them, dealing with childhood obesity, sedentary lifestyles, and making sure that we're doing something about that. So my big tip is hydration. And
mm,
one of the things that I'm doing in this virtual world that we've been in for over a year now is making sure that I drink at least one of these for every hour on Zoom.
mm,
So I'm sitting here, I'm not moving my body. I am doing something that's important and valuable, making this connection with you and sharing an important message with others. But what can I be doing for my body right now? I'm going to down this thing. So I know a lot of people, I think, try to shy away from eating and drinking on
mm.
camera. Okay, that's fine. But there you go. There's your
I
right.
don't have very much left right now, but yes.
That's a good thing to model as you're in your business meetings with people, as you're at work, letting people see it's time to hydrate, right? And if you're running the meeting, maybe you just say, hey, time for a hydration break, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one tip that I think is so important, is making sure we're getting enough water. Many have said it's 8-ounce glasses of water a day, which is 64 ounces. But the latest and greatest is that you're drinking half of your weight in water. So if your weight is 200 pounds, you're drinking 100 ounces of water each day. Don't want to tell you what my goal is, because then you'll figure out the math. It's a lot of water, and it's a lot more than 64 ounces.
Yeah, that's actually what I go by too, because that's what my naturopath had recommended. So that's kind of, and it really sucked because after I had my son, I still have a good bit of weight on after him. And I'm like, oh man, I used to be able to do my stuff real easy. Now I'm like, oh, I have to drink even more. But no, that's a really great tip. People definitely need to keep hydrated, because we can't function without hydration. Our bodies definitely thrive on that.
Mm-hmm.
And the final question, which you kind of answered, but if you want to give the same answer or a different one, that'd be fine. What is one change you want to see passed down to the future generations as we continue moving forward in relation to wellness?
I want to see people truly understand this concept of increasing your productivity by decreasing your instinct to just keep working harder and spending more time. I think it's just so powerful. And it's difficult. It really is. You know, again, what was modeled for me was work hard. You know, work hard, play hard, right? But the hard part was like clearly
Yes.
the focus, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not promoting laziness or a lack of ingenuity or a lack of creativity. I truly believe if we can grasp that our productivity and creativity goes up when we take that step away and do meaningful rest, it's just incredibly powerful. So that I want everybody to learn that. Absolutely. And I'm here for the step away with H3W. Come step away with us.
Yes, definitely. I love it. Yeah, well, I'll have to make sure to, anytime you're having events, to make sure to let me know or post in the group, because people would probably love that.
Awesome.
But yeah, I love taking walks with the kids. We had really nice weather, and then it got cold, and I think it's getting nice again. But every nice day we've been trying to walk, and I love that. And I don't know if you have your comments turned on, but Kat posted, woohoo for us girls drinking way more than 64 ounces of water.
Yes, Kat, thank you.
I love it.
In solidarity.
Yes. And where would you like people to find you? What links can I post and share in the comments?
Thank you so much. So I have a business page on Facebook. It's facebook.com/H3W Houston Wellness Workshops for Women. I know it's long, but it's very clear and specific. I'm also on Instagram at Karla Aghedo. It's Karla with a K and Aghedo. And then I'm also on LinkedIn with KH4BE. So linkedin.com/N/KH4BE. And I'm also very excited about stepping up my social media game, personally and for my business.
Awesome. That's great. I will make sure to get those links posted. And I believe that's everything. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here today. And I really appreciated getting to know you. You've been definitely fun to have an interview with. I love your energy. And we will definitely have you back again sometime. Anyone, if you have questions or want to know about Karla's retreats, or if you want to know about the conferences that she's hosting, or you want to host your own wellness retreat, make sure to reach out to her and she will get you set up. I hope that you enjoyed getting to know her today, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Bye, everyone.
Hey, Emily.